Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lexi if you have not watched any of my videos before. Today I'm going to be doing this smoked out, kind of like a half cut crease eye. So yeah, if this is something that you don't want to see, please just keep watching. Guys, I'm just pulling my hair back as usual, just getting that hair out of my face. And I'm going to start by taking my Modern Renaissance palette. And I'm going to go with the shade Buon Fresco, as I want to say how you pronounce it, but I could be completely wrong. But I'm just taking this shade. It's kind of like a lighter purpley shade, and I'm just taking that in my crease and all over my lid to start off as a base shadow. And I do want to add that my brows are done. I did that off camera. Here I'm making sure that I'm blending out that shadow all the way to my outer corner, and then even bringing it further than that. That way once I do add those darker shades, everything blends smoothly. Next I'm taking this antique bronze shade. It still has purple tones to it. It just also has a little bit of a brown. It's a very pretty, it's got some shimmer to it, but not very much at all. And I'm just taking this and I'm sticking it in my crease, and I'm also bringing it inwards. That way, again, once I do add those dark browns and blacks, everything just blends out very nicely. I forgot to tell y'all that the brush I've been using is my Morphe E27, and it's just a larger blending brush. Next I'm pulling out my Jaclyn Hill palette, and this is the palette that I'm using actually for the majority of this look. So the first shade that I'm going to go into is this lighter brown. It's called Buns. I'm placing that shadow exactly where I placed the last shadow, so this is just going to deepen up our crease and give it a little more dimension. Next I'm taking my Morphe M518 brush, and this is a blending brush. It's just smaller so we can get a more precise feel. And I'm going in with the shade Mocha, also in the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to begin bringing those shades down. So I'm placing this in my outer V, and then I'm just blending it upwards into my crease and even a little bit in that inner corner. Now I'm going back to that larger blending brush. This is the E27. I wiped off any product that was on that brush, and I'm just blending out everything outwards. Now I'm taking this, it's kind of like a chocolate brown. The name of it is Chip, but I'm going to take that shadow, and I'm using my M518 brush. So I'm going to pick that up, and again, we're now bringing the shadows downward. So I have that in that outer V and just blending it in that crease on top of that lighter brown. I'm building up this shade as much as possible because I really want this brown to be a very, very deep brown. That way it blends in with the black nicely. Next I'm taking my M578 brush. This is a shorter, more dense brush, and I'm going to take the shade Soda Pop. This shade looks like a black tone when you look at it in the palette, but whenever you apply it, it's actually a mixture between a very deep brown and also some purple in there. But I'm just going to take this, and I'm pretty much placing this almost in my entire lid. I'm not really worried about how precise my blending is in the center of my lid because I'm going to cover that up with concealer. This is a very deep shadow, so you do want to make sure that you're blending out those corners very well. Yet again, I'm going back to my favorite blending brush. It's the E27, and I'm just making sure that everything's blended. I didn't add any more product. I'm just smoothing everything out. Now I'm taking this very small smudge brush. I do not have a name for this brush. Whatever it was, it's now faded off. Now I'm taking the deepest shadow in this palette. It's a black shade. And I'm just going to take that in my outer V, and then you'll also see me bring it up into my crease. But whenever I'm doing this, I'm being very precise. You have to be very careful with black shadows because they can be extremely messy. Now I'm going to flip this same brush over without adding any more product, and I'm just going to blend everything out. So I wanted that black to be a little deeper, so I'm going in my Morphe 12P palette. I'm taking that black, and I'm just going to go over where I just placed the black from the Jaclyn Hill palette. Then I'm taking just a clean brush again without any product, and I'm going to make sure that everything is blended out. Switching back over to Modern Renaissance, and I'm going to use my Morphe R40 brush for this. I'm taking that very first shade that we used, that Blonde Fresco shade, and I'm just going to place that around the corners of the darker shades because I did kind of cover them up whenever I did use the darker browns and black. So I just want to make sure that that shade is still there, it's still noticeable, and it's still helping those darker shades blend out. Next, I'm taking Antique Bronze, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to bring it a little bit lower, a little bit closer to my crease. Swear that I'm blending everything for the last time using that E27 brush. It's just really important when using these black shades to make sure that everything is blended out really nicely. Now I'm taking my Shape Tape Concealer, and this is in the shade Fair Beige, and I'm taking a flat brush. I actually got this brush, I think, in a set from like Spencer's forever ago. It's just a really nice fine flat brush. I'm going to use that brush to place the product on my lid and use it to begin to carve out where I do want my crease to be. But then I'm going to switch brushes, and this is my Real Technique brush. I've used it in another video before. It's a very, very fine pointy brush, so it's just a lot easier to get a more precise line and make sure that everything is very clean cut. Using a flat brush by Ulta, I'm going to take this shade Tempera, and that is again in the Modern Renaissance palette. It's just like a really pretty cream color, no shimmer to it, it's very matte, and I'm just going to set that concealer in place. Next, I'm taking my M518 brush. I'm going to go back to the Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm going to use that first lighter brown shade that we used called Buns. And I'm just going to begin to place that on the outer part of where I concealed. And then I'm going to bring it inwards because this is going to be the lightest shade on your lid. So it's going to be the one that you are going to bring closest to the center. So I got carried away and did not present my palette, but I am using the shade Chip, which is that chocolate brown that we use, and I'm going to place this right behind where I just placed that lighter brown. That way it can start to fade out into the black. Okay, so now I'm going to use a flat brush. You can use any type of flat brush. This one's from Morphe. It does not have a number because it did come in like an 18-piece set. But I'm just going to take that and I'm going to use the black shade that we used earlier from the Morphe 12P palette. And I'm just going to pick up the product and place it on that outer part of my eyelid. And then I'm going to bring it inwards and just blend that in with the brown shade that we used. Okay, so I lied. I'm picking up E27 again just to blend out that lid. I'm sorry guys, this is like my favorite brush. It just blends so easily and effortlessly, so I do use it a lot. Now that both eyes are done, I'm going to use the NYX Matte Liquid Liner. Now, of course, I'm going to use Scandalize to go ahead and put that coat on my lashes and then apply falsies. My face is now done and I'm going to take this Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On Eye Pencil. This is in the shade Deep Blue. I love these. They're so pigmented and they do not smudge at all. But I'm just going to place this on my bottom waterline. This part is totally optional. You can stick to black if you want. You can do any color. It's really just your preference. I just did it to add a fun pop of color. Going back to my Morphe 12P palette, I'm going to take that black shade, and to do so, I'm going to use my eyeliner brush from e.l.f. This brush is like $1. I think I talk about it on like every video. But I'm just tightlining my bottom lash line. You want to get the shade as close to your waterline as possible without actually covering up that blue or whatever shade you do decide to go with. I'm going back to my Jaclyn Hill palette and I'm taking the shade Chip and I'm just going to place that using the same brush right under where I placed the black shadow. And this is just going to give it a smoked out effect. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing by going back to my Antique Bronze shade in the Modern Renaissance. And with this shade, really any of the shades in this palette, the fallout is, it's not terrible, but there definitely is some fallout, so you want to make sure that you do not have that much product on your brush. Finally, our last shade that we're using for this look is back to that Blonde Fresco. I hope I'm saying that right because I've had to say it multiple times. But I'm just placing that underneath all of the 3 shades that I just placed under my eye line. And this is just going to bring everything together. Now I'm taking this highlighter shade from my Carli Babel Deluxe Edition palette. And I'm taking a flat brush. This one's by Ulta. I'm just going to pick up that shade and place it on my brow bone to highlight. This is also the shade that I have as my highlighter. I'm using my MAC. This is the Hydrating Charged Water. And this is just going to make that shade just a little bit more pigmented. Now I'm taking the skinnier flat brush. This was in that set that I got from Spencer's, but any smaller brush will do. I'm just going to take that same highlighter shade and highlight my inner corners. To complete my eyes, I'm just going to coat my bottom lashes using Scandalize. Next, I'm just lining my lips and then I'm going to pop a gloss over them, set my makeup, and we are done. Okay guys, so this is the final look. If there's anything else you'd want to see, please just let me know, whether it's an eyeshadow look or anything else for that matter. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. I will see y'all next time. Bye.